Yes, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Savva here from Football Heritage TV. It's the day after the game before, as I always say, and nothing has changed at Tottenham Hotspur, apart from one thing. We've got a new goalkeeper. We've got goalkeeper number 6, 7, Forster, Vicario, Austin, Whiteman, Keeley, Gunter. Now, welcome to the football club. Welcome to the circus, Antonin Kinski. Welcome to the club. And I'm sure we won't ruin your career or your hamstring. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know what you think, guys. We have signed Antonin Kinski. Very highly rated in the Czech Republic, I'm being told. Lots of people have watched videos and are now saying he's brilliant with his feet, not so good with the catching. And I'm like, oh, is that good? Is that what you want from a keeper? But I don't know. I can't really sit here and say to you it's a good signing. It's not. But what I do know is if you're like me, I can't really get too excited about Spurs signing yet another goalkeeper. The reason being is, listen, this guy could be the greatest goalkeeper we've ever seen. And I say that for all the players that we sign. He's going to be the greatest young player we've ever seen in our lives. But I'll ask the question, does it change anything we do out on the pitch? Does it change his woeful tactics? And does it change how wide open we are as a football club? I don't know. But welcome to Tottenham Hotspur, Antonin Kinski. Big move for the young lad, 21 years of age, 6'3". He's played first team football for Slavia Prague. He's played in the Europa League this season. Now he is Tottenham Hotspur, number 31, I believe. And I guess the question is, does he come in and take Vicario's spot immediately? Does he just challenge him? Is he going to be a number 2? David Ornstein yesterday, I mean, you have to ask the question, does he know? I don't know, but he was turning around and saying, listen, this guy's not being bought to be a number 2. He is not a backup. This guy is going to fight Vicario for his place. Let's see. This is interesting. The question I suppose I'll ask you is, does he go straight in? Does he go straight in for the Liverpool game? Does Brandon Austin deserve to be dropped after what I thought was a good display yesterday? I mean, I think you could see nerves. Very understandable. It's his debut. Does he deserve to not start against Liverpool in the cup? I can't believe it. I can't believe we've got our next game is Liverpool in the cup. Lots of people talking about whether or not we hang on, let me just double check. Yeah, Wednesday night it is, isn't it? Of course it is. I don't know why I had to look for that, but a lot of people saying it would all depend on what team Liverpool put out. Look, for me, if we're talking about if you're signing this keeper, if this is where you want some of your transfer budget to go, get him in. Get him in. Right? Listen, no offense to Brandon Austin, but listen, this is where our transfer budget is going. This is exactly like last year where our transfer budget went on Radu Dragashin and then we didn't see him. And, even the beginning of this year, we didn't see him and we only saw him when we had injuries. So if this is where your transfer budget is going, for me, I think you've got to get him straight in. We'll get into the Liverpool-Tottenham Cup semi-final first leg on Wednesday. We'll get into that a little bit later. Really difficult one to discuss, really, because we don't know, look, what team are Liverpool going to put out? Somebody said to me yesterday, they said, Savva, I don't think it matters what team Liverpool put out. You're a mess. That wasn't anyone on YouTube, by the way. It was one of my mates when I saw them last night. Look, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what's going on at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club anymore. As I said, a lot of the comments I'm seeing, a lot of people, we're talking like we are always in the bottom half of the table. And yes, we are right now. Yes, we are. But we're talking as though we are no offense, but we're talking like we're a Wolves. We're talking like we're a team like Southampton or Leicester. No offense to these clubs, but these are clubs that go up and down, up and down. we're talking like we're those clubs. We're talking like, oh, we were proud yesterday. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what has happened to us. I don't know why fans in the summer were so buzzing for Ange, and this is the guy, and look at these signings. And we're stronger, don't forget. We're stronger with Gray. We're stronger with Bergvall than we were with Højbjerg and Skip and Brian Hill, for example. I just don't know what's happened. And as my man Chris B said, big up to Chris B, as he said to me on the show the other morning, are we sleepwalking into a relegation battle? Are we? Like, I don't think we're there. I don't. So before people say, oh, Savva thinks we're getting relegated, I've not said that. I don't think we are. We are 9 points off those 3 teams at the bottom. And thank God the 3 teams at the bottom are poor. Listen, we're poor, but we already had the points on the board. But we've got some tough games coming up. If we look, we'll go to the Liverpool game in a bit. But if we move away from that Liverpool game, our next game is what? Arsenal? The North London derby. That's our next league game, right? On the 15th, which is only 10 days away. So we've got Liverpool, Tamworth, Arsenal. I don't know what happens if we lose to Arsenal. I mean, how bad does this need to get before Daniel leaving? And this is what I find. What is it when 2 things oppose each other? I can't. And I've got a word in my head for it. Anyway, this is my dilemma with it. Is the very man that I want to get rid of this manager is the very man that makes all the mistakes in the first place, and it's just going around in one big circle, isn't it? Like I can only talk about me, right? I can only talk about my opinion. I look at they're showing the Liverpool pitch. Lots of snow and ice on that today. I don't know if that game might be postponed. Anyway, I only speak for me as a fan. I've got a whole channel that's speaking about me as a fan, and I look at this manager and I look at the support that he's getting, which is support I've never seen for another manager. Yeah. I've never seen it. And I look at it and I think, Savva, that's the word I was absolutely looking for, Maz. Maz, if you want to come on, you're more than welcome. Maz, if you want to come on, just let me know. I'll chuck you the link. I'm sure you're probably busy or bored of my face after last night, but you're more than welcome. I take a step back sometimes, and there are people I speak to, some YouTubers who, listen, there are people I speak to in the YouTube industry where I think they've got my ear, that I can say what I want and they won't mug me off live on stream. And I say to them sometimes, am I being harsh on Ange, on Spurs? And I think a few months ago, maybe 3-4 months ago, there were people saying to me, well, look, you've got to, all of that kind of stuff. All of that body language. Now, when I'm asking them that question, they're going, no, it's awful. Like, no, it is terrible. And I can't, this is only me. I mean, this is a fault with my personality, with my character. And you all know how passionate I am, right? Is I can't understand this blind faith that's put in him. This give him more time. He hasn't got the tools for his system. We've never seen it. This isn't Jurgen Klopp. This isn't like, I just use Klopp as an example because he's on my TV screen on an advert right now. This isn't Jurgen Klopp coming into the club and we're all saying, well, we've seen what he's done. We saw what he done at Dortmund. We saw what he done at Liverpool. Give this man the tools. He will build the kingdom, right? This isn't that. This is a guy that we've seen at Celtic. Now, again, no offense. If I look, I'm going to have a look right now at the Scottish League. Right, here we go. So Celtic are actually playing today. If I look at the Scottish League, right, I kid you not. There we go. There's the Scottish table. Don't know if you can see that. Probably not very clearly. Celtic are 11 points clear in Scotland. Celtic are 11 points clear in Scotland, right? Now this is every year, right? It's obviously since the whole Rangers drop-off. They're 11 points clear in Scotland. They've conceded 7 goals in 19 games. I'm not Mystic Meg or Nostradamus. Can't believe I put those two in the same sentence. You know, like they're the same thing. I think Celtic are going to win that league. And again, like everybody else, right? Everyone else is going to win the league there. Brendan Rodgers is going to win the league there. Neil Lennon was winning the league there. Yada, yada, yada was yada, 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 yada. So I can't look at that as a basis and say, yes, this is the evidence that shows me that this man is going to turn it around. Now, as I said, some people were coming into my chat the other day going, oh, but look at Man City. And I'm like, I've never understood this comparison with Man City. Man City have won 6 league titles in 8 years. Man City have had what's widely regarded as the best manager in the world. Pep Guardiola there. You know, we're not going to debate that. He's one of the best. Look what he's won. Look at the football he plays, blah, 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 blah. Man City hit a brick wall. All right. Looks like they've bounced back a little bit now. 7 points from their last 9. I still think Man City will be second. I do. I think Liverpool's league. And I can see him in there. I can see my man Nick. How you doing, bro? I can see my man Nick. I didn't realise you were an international DJ, Nick. The old football club. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to Nick. I do like it. I do like his content. Just going off on a tangent. The first time I was aware of you, Nick, was... somebody said, oh, have you seen this Aussie bloke? And my first response was, what, Ange? And they said, no, this Aussie bloke's making a video about you. I was like, oh, good God. So I went over and I quite liked it. I mean, you critiqued me in the right areas, I think. And you were nice to me in the right areas. So yeah, anyway, yeah, big up to you. Big up to Nick. Nick, if somebody could put his link in the chat, get over there, subscribe to the football club. Always enjoy watching your content, bro. Hope you are well, and I need to get you on the channel. I always say for you to email me. You never do. Anyway, so if you look at Man City and people are going, oh, well, Man City won 1 in 12, 13, whatever it is, sure. But with Man City, you know it's a blip. With Man City, you know that they've got the talent, they've got the manager, they've got the players and the manager that have been there, seen it, and done it. And that, as any football fan, forget that we support Spurs, as any football fan supporting that club, you should be able to turn around and go, I have all the evidence in the bag that I need that suggests this manager will get us out of this rut. I look at Ange and I go, I've seen nothing from this guy in 18 months other than a new manager bounce, if we want to call it that. I've seen nothing in that 18 months that makes me go, he's happy to adapt, he's happy to change, he's happy to mold, he's happy to bend his tactics, whatever word, whatever describing word you want to put into that sentence. I've seen nothing that suggests that's going to happen. So when I've got a lot of people backing Ange, fine, back him all you want. I'm a Tottenham fan, not an Ange fan. I want what's best for Tottenham, and I don't see that this manager wants what's best for Tottenham. In my humble opinion, I think this guy is a vanity project for himself. This guy, for me, looks very much like he's saying, I'm going to do what I think works. It's never worked in the Premier League before, but I'm just going to do this. I don't care about Spurs. Now, that might be harsh. That might be harsh. But everyone is asking the question. Every pundit, everyone is saying, when will this man adapt? When will this man realize you can't play 100 miles an hour for 90 minutes? When will this man realize you can't play it out from the back every minute of the game unless all your players are like Rodri, right? When will he realize? When? This is what I don't get it. I get that people say he's going to turn it around. Like, I'll tell you what. Let me show you this comment. Right, it wasn't a rude comment. I got this comment this morning, and I thought this particularly summed it up. Right. Where are we? Someone called me a Lee Gunner from Wish. That was quite funny. Lee Gunner from Wish. That was a really good one. Somebody said, where is it? Here we go. Somebody said, I can't wait to see your face in a year's time when Ange has turned it around and Tottenham are a great team. Now, fine. I've said many a time, if Ange turns it round and in a year's time we're a great team, I can sit there and go, I've got enough evidence now to say, Ange, what a guy. You absolutely proved me wrong. But what makes me laugh about comments like that I get from people, what makes me laugh is they can predict the future, but I'm not allowed to use the factual evidence that we have now. This is what I've never understood about it. The hopes and the feelings for a lot of fans trumps the truth. And again, I get, but it's your truth. Well, it's not my truth. Me saying 10 defeats in 20 games isn't my truth. Isn't me cherry picking. Them the facts. Them the facts, as my mate says. Right? They're the facts. Me saying we've won 7 out of 20 games and lost 10. Them the facts. Me saying 1 home win in 9 home games in all competitions. Them the facts. We should start using that. That should be our logo now. Them the facts. Right? Spurs winning 1 in 8 in all competitions. Them the facts. Our 1 win in 8 games is against the worst statistical Premier League team we've ever seen. Southampton are statistically right now the worst we've ever seen. Chris, I know you're an Ange defender. Said just going on the facts now of his poor run. Did Klopp and Pep have slow starts at Liverpool and City? Chris, this isn't a slow start. This isn't a slow start. You do realise in Klopp's first ever season, he got to 2 finals with a really bad squad. This isn't a bad start, Chris. This is 18 months of awful form. Chris, you're the sort of person that infuriates me because every excuse, I can see the playbook of excuses from the Ange supporters, not the Spurs supporters, for me, the Ange supporters, right, is the same. But Arteta in his first 2 years, right? But Pep didn't win his first year. Yeah, he still got Champions League football and they won the league the next year. But Klopp, what did he get to 2 finals in his first year? Was it 3 in his first 2 seasons? Like, what are these excuses? What are these excuses that anyone thinks he's on a level with Klopp, with Pep? What are these excuses? Like, even looking at Arteta, I don't even think Arteta's a good manager. He's a good manager, right? I don't over-egg people when they've not really achieved a lot. He's a good manager. He came in his first job, somebody else's squad, got over the line in the FA Cup. Respect to him for that, right? I know people are like, oh, but he's Arsenal. Respect to him for that, right? But since then, for me, he's shown that he can tactically adapt. He can change in games. And I think he's a good manager. Is he going to be up there? I don't know. I think for me, he's missed a couple of opportunities to win things with Arsenal. For me, he's not going to win it again this year. Is he going to win it again? Is he going to win it next year? I don't think so. But when he's talked about Ange in with the ilks of Pep and Klopp, oh, but look what they did. Look what they did. Look what they did. Yeah? It's madness. But again, no excuse, just a question. You give Pep and Klopp butts. I'm not a defender of saying he will work. I think 3 years. 3 years. Chris, why on earth should this man get another 18 months to get to 3 years when it's been terrible? Chris, I'm going to ask this question again. I always do with all due respect. Please, can you tell me how long have you supported Spurs? Because, again, this love for Ange is based on what? Give me the evidence, Chris, to suggest this man should have 3 years. And yes, Pep and Klopp get the butts because they're two of the best managers in the world. Yes. Reezy, don't come in here with this nonsense. That's normal. It's a rebuild. He's not rebuilding anything. This isn't a rebuild. We're going backwards. He's not built anything. Let's stop this, right? Let's stop this. I'm getting a bit bored of people like Reezy, people like Chris. They come in and they say all these nice things, and that's great. But none of them, like Eddie yesterday, none of them actually have any facts, any evidence. None of them have anything to say, well, the reason why Ange will work is boom, boom, boom. Right? None of them can. It's all heart. It's all feelings. It's all, I think it might work. Sure, thinking, though, doesn't mean anything. The relevance is because you're backing Ange blindly because I think that you've only started supporting Spurs since he's joined, right? The difference is no manager has ever been this bad and not had the sack. No manager has ever been this bad and not had the sack. Ozzy got the sack. Christian Gross got the sack. Managers that were 10 times better have got the sack for worse. So for me, I'm asking Chris, on what evidence? Give me, I'd love one of your responses, or Reezy's, or all these people, or Cam Tinley, all these people that love this man, even though they see him doing this to our football club. I need somebody to put in a well-constructed argument that says, this man will do X, Y, Z. In poor leagues, yes. In poor leagues, Cam. That's not evidence. Evidence of a manager winning a league in the Championship isn't an evidence that they're going to be a good manager in the Premier League, for example. Chris, I'm asking you. I'm not asking them. I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Notice how you can't give me an answer. You deflect a lot. Listen, this is fine. Listen, I do this for a living. I've got the facts. I've got the stats. I've got the data. I use my eyes. Everything is telling me I'm right. People like you, Chris, there's no argument. There's nothing constructed. He's out of his depth. The football's dreadful. The results are showing it. It's been going backwards week on week for nearly 15 months. And people then go, but it could get better. Give him 3 years. What? Give him 3 years. What? Do you know what? I'll flip this. Yeah? I'll flip this. If we look down the road, let's say Arteta leaves Arsenal. Let's pull out the big guns. Our rivals, Arsenal, right? Arsenal sack Arteta today. Just hypothetical, by the way. I'm not spreading news. Arsenal sack Arteta today and bring in Steven Gerrard. No, probably not Steven Gerrard. They bring in Brendan Rodgers from Celtic. Let's use a like for like of what we did. All right. They bring in Brendan Rodgers. And Arsenal, after 18 months of Brendan Rodgers, are like this. Ready? So Arsenal, after 18 months, now swap Tottenham there for Arsenal. Okay, this is the future. This is 2026, 18 months from now. And Arsenal are sitting in 12th on 24 points after 20 games, 11 points off 5th, 12 points off the top 4, and 9 points above relegation. Right? If this was Arsenal, you know what we'd be saying? We'd be saying, keep Brendan Rodgers at Arsenal. That is what we would be saying. That's what we would be saying. Right? That's what we'd be saying. Keep him at Arsenal. What a terrible job he's doing. Look at them. They're a mess. They're a shambles. That's what we would be saying. But because it's Tottenham, we're saying, give him 3 years. Give him more time. Every week he deserves 3 more games. He deserves 5 more games. He deserves 10 more games. He deserves the cup semi. He deserves this. Why does he deserve anything? I don't understand, right? This one picture should tell you how shit this manager is. This one picture should show you. I mean, first of all, only 2 teams have worse form in the table than Tottenham, right? Only 2. If I'm not wrong, there you go. It's these 2 down here. Leicester City and Southampton. The only teams with worse form than Tottenham are Leicester City and Southampton, right? Over a calendar year, out of 17 constant Premier League teams, Spurs were 15th. But give him 3 years. Give him 3 years. And then we move to the excuses, don't we? Forget what he did in 2024. It's all because we've had a few injuries in the last month. Forget all the form. You're not allowed to use form. You're not allowed to use data. You're not allowed to use evidence. We've had a few injuries, like every club has injuries. And that's the reason why we are 12th in the table. Look at West Ham, right? West Ham, their manager is favourite to get the sack in the Premier League. Don't know if anyone knows that. Right? Their manager is the favourite to get the sack. Oh my God, what a terrible start West Ham have had. West Ham are terrible. Look at them. Look at their signings. They're dreadful. Should have kept Moyes. Blah, 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 blah. Look at it. 1 point above them. Brentford. Oh, I wouldn't want Frank. Frank's rubbish. Frank this, Frank that. Oh, Frank's not that guy. I wouldn't want Frank. Frank with a really average Brentford squad. 11th above us. Aston Villa. Oh my God. Oh, we should look at how bad Emery's doing this season. They're 8 points clear of us and 3 points off the top 5. but they're terrible. Aston Villa's squad is rubbish. Oh, Aston Villa, but they sold one of their best players, Diaby. They didn't have a good window. How wrong does everyone need to be before we all get on the same page and go, it ain't working? I've gone all South London on you. It ain't working. It ain't going to work underneath this manager. This season, from a league perspective, is written off already. 12 points off the top 4. That's gone. 11 points off 5th. We ain't catching up 11 points on 5th. Right? Man City. This is the worst Man City we've seen for years, right? 10 points clear of us. AFC Bournemouth, 9 points clear of us. Villa, 8 points clear. Fulham with a game in hand, 5 points clear. Like, what more do you need to see? What more do people need to see before you turn around and go, it's not working? But give him the semi-final of the cup. Why? But I'll finish 14th or 15th and win a cup. Why? Why is that acceptable? For me, that's not acceptable. Win the cup, great. I'll praise him for that. You don't finish bottom half as Tottenham Hotspur manager. You simply don't. That's not arrogance. We are one of the biggest 6 clubs in the country. You do not finish. But I'm not saying we will, by the way. There's a long way to go. But I'm gonna. The worrying thing for me here, guys, right? This is the worrying thing for me. Is when I did my prediction, I was called negative. I was actually, it looks like I was being really positive. Look, I'm sure you've all seen this a million times. Where I put Spurs in my prediction table was 7th, right? We're 9 points off 7th. I'm going to let that fester with you for 1 second. We're 9 points off 7th, which is Conference League football. 9 points off of Conference League football. Neil Hartley has come in and said, I'm no Ange fan, Savva, but you were blowing smoke up Jose and Conte arse. I was blowing smoke up their arse. And when it turned sour, you blamed that they had no depth or backing. Neil, I mean, everyone saw yesterday somebody come on and was having a go at me because I hated Antonio Conte. So I'm not really sure you're telling the truth here, my friend. This is actually, I'm going to call it out. You're a liar. That's not true at all. With Jose Mourinho, I liked Jose Mourinho. With Conte, I didn't want him as our manager, right? So this isn't true. Both these things can't be true, Neil. Feel free to come on. We'll have the chat, but I don't like it when people lie like this. Again, for anybody that doesn't listen, for people that lie like Neil to get their moment of fame, I'll say what I said yesterday, what I said about Antonio Conte. When Antonio Conte signed, I said, I appreciate this man as a winner. I don't like his style. If Daniel Levy backs him with £70 million defenders that he needs, £70 million midfielders that he needs, top players, fine. We forego the way he plays because we'll win things. However, I said the reason I don't want him here, he signed an 18-month contract. That tells you he is in it for the short term and Spurs are in it for the short term. What was the longevity ever going to be with a manager that has no longevity at any club and is coming to Tottenham where we're not going to give him the tools he needs, right? So, no, please don't listen to these people, yeah? What point, Neil? But you've just lied about me. I wasn't blowing smoke up Conte's arse. Everyone in my chat knows I wasn't blowing smoke up Conte's arse, Neil. I didn't want Conte at the football club. That's so you've lied. When you're calling me a toxic fan because I've called you a liar, you can't lie about me. Then when I call it out, say you're a toxic fan. Why I'm toxic because you've lied about me. That's not how it works, mate. Man up, come on the stream and tell me what I said about Conte. I've got one guy coming on yesterday going, oh, you didn't want Conte, you deserve this. Now I've got you saying I was blowing smoke up Conte's arse. People in my chat, which one is true? Was I blowing smoke up Conte's arse or did I not want him at the club? Both of those things can't be true. So Neil is either telling the truth or he's lying. Neil, I can't have people just lying about my opinion, right? You can't just lie about my opinion and then call me toxic, right? You've tried to make a point. You've got it really wrong, then called me toxic, right? Think about what you're doing. You're a grown man here, Neil. I can see from your picture you're a grown man, right? You can't have both. You can't lie about me and then say I'm toxic because I've called it out, right? I didn't want him. I respect Antonio Conte as a manager. I do. It's not for me. His style isn't for me, but he's a proven winner. But you can't bring a proven winner to Tottenham Hotspur and not back him. Now, here's where I was wrong as a fan. So I don't mind admitting where I was wrong. This is where I was wrong as a fan. When we got rid of Poch, I said, do you know what? This must be the wake-up call for Daniel Levy. Bringing in Jose, he's going to back him. You don't bring in Jose. You don't bring in a Jose if you're not going to back him. That's where I got it wrong because Daniel Levy reverted to type, brought Jose in. I like Jose as a manager. I don't like Conte as a manager. But this notion that I was blowing smoke up Conte's backside as well and then said he wasn't. This isn't true. Sorry, I know Neil has disappeared now because he's wrong. But guys and girls, just because I'm a YouTuber that puts my opinion, doesn't mean people could just say what they want about me in the chat. You can't just lie about me, right? That's not how it works, Neil. I'm sorry, mate. You can't. And notice how he hasn't messaged now. He hasn't since everyone's told him he was wrong. Anyone who's watched me for years knows what I thought. I got people having a go at me because I didn't want Conte at this club. And the guy's telling me I was blowing smoke up him. What? This is the equivalent. This is the equivalent of when Spurs have a new manager, someone going, yeah, but you blew smoke up Ange's arse. It's like, no, I didn't. I didn't want him. Neil, you were. Everyone in the chat's just told you how wrong you were, mate. Not defensive children. Neil, you've lied. You lied, Neil. I'm sorry. You're more than welcome to come on and defend your point, but you've lied. Everyone knows. I mean, Ellie, you're in the chat. Ellie, how many rows did me and you have about Conte because you liked him and I didn't? Do you remember? We had some epic WhatsApp battles. Do you remember in the WhatsApp group it was actually started to be the charity stream? This is what I mean. No, Neil, when you say grow up, Savva, dude, I hate to break it to you. You've just lied. Everyone's seen it. And I've proved you wrong. Unfortunately, Neil, you got to grow up a little bit, mate, haven't you? Because you've been proved wrong and you're still now going. See, what people like Neil do, this is what I love. Trolls behind a keyboard say things and they're wrong. Then they go to other channels and go, oh, Savva did this. Savva hasn't done anything other than prove that you're a liar. Now, if you turn around and go, hands up, I may have got that wrong, say, fair enough, but you're not. You've doubled down. You've doubled down now on being very wrong about something. Everyone knows I did not want Conte. And you're out here going, you were blowing smoke up his backside. What are we talking about? When we first signed him, we say, great manager. Sure, great manager. Not going to work here. Never going to work here. Right? At the end of the day, mate, you can't just lie in chats. Big up to the super chats. Coys has said, Savva, big clubs around Europe have gone down in history. Atletico Madrid, Deportivo, Parma, Auxerre, and others. We are not relegation proof. We are not relegation proof. No, we're not. 1 second, hang on. Who wants? Oh, I see. Barry wants to come on. Where is he? Sorry, 1 second. Let me Sunday morning football chat with Savva. Invite guests. Copy. There we go. Here we go. Listen, I'm not saying we're relegation proof. I just think there's some very bad teams in the Premier League, and I don't see us dropping that far. However, we have got Arsenal next, then Everton. Don't win those games, and you're in trouble. But it then means 2 of the bottom 3 have to win 2 or 3 games in a row. I can't see it, mate. Thank you very much for the super chat. I can't see it, but the fact that people are even mentioning it shows you how bad we are. SJG says, Savva, any chance I can come on? I know you don't know me, but I'm a frequent listener and think I have interesting points. SJG, can you come on tomorrow for my debate Savva show and just phone in, even if you agree with me? Come in then, just so I can keep the rhythm of my show, if that's okay, dude. I appreciate the super chat, but please, if you can come on tomorrow, that would be amazing. Thank you. I really do appreciate you, though. Yeah, come on tomorrow. I don't think Arsenal are great, Reezy, by the way. I don't think Arsenal are great. So, as I said, Neil, I've got nothing against you, mate. But just please don't come on and lie about me. Then start telling people I'm toxic, right? Prove me wrong, Savva. I mean, literally, didn't all my chat who watch me every week tell you I was Ange out? Do you not think I was Ange out? Do you not think I was Ange out? Hang on. Tell you what we're going to do. Tell you what we've got to do here, haven't we? Oh my gosh, we've got to do this because people like Neil is 2024 in a nutshell. He's been proven wrong and now he's doubling down, right? He's doubling down so much that it hurts him, right? Hang on. Now I'm going to try. 1 second. 1 second. Let's see. I'm going back. I'm scrolling back through my God. I've got so many YouTube videos here. Where are we? Oh God, we were before then, weren't we? God, you got to remember Antonio Conte was a long time ago. Here we go. Where are we? No, God, that's still the summer of last summer. 1 second, I'm going to get there, people. I'm going to get there. Right. Yeah, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Come on. Come on. God, I'm having to go back like forever here to do this. Right. So here we go. So oh my God, when was this? This was the 3rd of April, 2023, right? No, hang on. Sorry, no, that's still Stellini. Good God, what is going on? How many YouTube videos has Savva got? So a daily dose of Spurs from 6th of March. Get Conte out. Yeah, a natural end for Conte's reign, or was he pushed? Here we go. Enoch and Levy out. Take Conte with you. Get Conte out my club. I don't know how far back I can go. Conte out. There, I said it. He is shocking, right? There, I said it. He is shocking. Hang on. Here we go. Let's have a look. 1 second. 1 second, people. Sorry, I don't like being called a liar. 1 second. Here we go. Share, copy, link. Right. So here's a video of me saying, there's a video, right? I've just put the link in the chat, people. There's a video of me saying, Barry, I can't believe I'm having to do this. I cannot believe that I'm having to defend that I didn't want Conte at the bloody football club. I think you and everyone knew I didn't like Conte, right?
No, you said you loved him. What are you talking about?
Shut up. Shut up, you. Shut up. How are you, mate? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Look, I just think everyone just needs to just relax a little bit. I think there's people going, look, this is where I think we're at the moment, right? I think we got the people that want the manager sacked. I think we've got the people that don't want the manager sacked. And then I think we've got people going into other people's comments just trying to wind everyone up. So
yep.
And that's really naughty, right? So look, we all know Savva doesn't want this manager, but it doesn't mean people need to come in and start talking about nonsense and winding people up and doing these things and doing it and doing the same thing. And also then going back to people saying, oh, have you seen this on this stream? Have you seen what this person said? I think Daniel Levy at the moment is absolutely loving all of this, if I'm honest, because there's no heat on him. The fan base is divided more than probably it ever has been over this manager, the tactics, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it. And I just think that nothing's gonna change. If we go back the last 4 years, you can pretty much go through all the videos and it's all the same. And yesterday, Tottenham signed a keeper. I don't know why, because we got 4 of them. So I'm not really sure why we need to do this. But I think we just need to respect people's opinions, respect their views, not worry about saying Savva said this or this person said that or this person said this or someone said that the cat was the queen, or it's getting like silly now, right? I think at the end of the day, yesterday was a perfect...
I won't have people lying about me.
No, Savva, I get that. I'm not saying to, do you know what I mean, about having to prove, but people are going to come and do it because they know, like the other day, you triggered Sean. They're triggering you because they know you're not going to stand for it, right? And I don't have a problem with you. I don't have a problem with Sean. I don't want to see people lose their minds over Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, right? And
I agree. So let me just say, Nick, right? There is one at 11:48. These are 3 different videos, right? 11:48, okay? There, if anyone wants to look at that video. Then there's this one I put in at 11:50. There's another video. Right? Here's there's one more. I put 3 examples there of me saying one of them says this, but this one here, right, Nick, says this. It says, Conte has no options. Yeah, right. Let's explore. Right? Basically me saying, that Conte has options. I think he's doing a terrible job. The one before said Conte has no tactics. The one before that said, right, I'll say it, and Conte out. I just can't have people like the problem with people like Neil is he goes into chats, he says things like, Savva said this, I haven't, spreads it to another chat, and then everyone's going, oh, but you said this. Like, no, I didn't. And then has the audacity to say to me, you're toxic, grow up, after he's lied about me. Sorry, it frustrates I know it shouldn't, Nick. I know you're going to tell me off after the show, but it's so frustrating that a grown man can just lie like that. He's asked for receipts. I've put receipts in the chat. There you go. Anybody who wants to watch that, have a look at those 3 videos. Don't have to watch them. Just look at the titles and you will see I did not want Antonio Conte at Tottenham Hotspur. Anyway, Nick, big up, who's this? Soren. Soren, how many debates did we have on this? I can guarantee Savva did not want Conte. I debated how bad he was so many times on his channel. Bang on, mate. Listen, Nick, it doesn't look like he is going anywhere. But are we now at the stage where we've let this go on so long that we're just becoming a bit of a laughing stock? Like, I know Spurs go through these periods where other teams laugh at us, but we're a mess, aren't we? Like, it's a mess.
Yeah, I mean, I was at the game yesterday, mainly because my ticket didn't sell, so I was forced. I was forced to it, but I mean, look, the first thing that was notable yesterday was the amount of empty seats, and that was the amount of empty seats around me, looking across the ground, looking across the stadium. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know how it showed up on the TV, but there were a hell of a, and I don't know what the attendance was yesterday. It'll probably be like what Arsenal used to do, and they'd say it was sold out, but half the ground was empty because the tickets were sold, but they weren't do it right.
Yeah.
I think anything and everything at the moment is going against us, right? We can talk about the injuries and it's 3 or it's 4 or it's 5 or 10 or whatever it is, right? The injuries are going against us. The sickness bug is going against us. Decisions are now going against us. You know, with the handball yesterday. Now I get it from the letter of the law. It says it's not handball, but it completely took out all like 4 players and then the 1 pass goal, right? So I get it.
Yeah, but by the letter of the law, so what you mean is it's going against us because we're feeling sorry for ourselves and we're fans. The letter of the law doesn't say that's a handball, Nick. So is that going against us, or are we just feeling sorry for us? You know, like when you're down on luck in life, right? Yeah. I'll give a really silly example. You know, when you're down on luck in life, you're having a bad month, blah, 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 and you stub your toe or something and you go, oh, everything's so, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're doing with the handball?
Yeah, probably. But I think if that was the other way, I could 100% guarantee if that was us, that had been given as a handball. The way that the refereeing, do you know what I mean? The way that the refereeing was going yesterday, Burns should have probably been arguably sent off. Coglou should have probably been given away a penalty for his shoulder onto Gordon. Joe Linton the same on Bergvall. But I don't know. Maybe we're just feeling sorry for ourselves, and we're just like the world's ending at Tottenham. But just for all those people, Emerson Royale won a cup game at the 2 days ago against Juventus, high flying Juventus, and all is good. Bring him back to the club. Everything will be forgiven, and you know that we're just missing that. Obviously, Dragusin yesterday obviously hadn't trained. He came out with sick bed. I think he pooed his pants, and then he probably pooed his pants as well by the looks of it because he came off at half time. Look, did we play better yesterday? Yes. Do I think we deserve to win? No, I don't agree with what I think what Andrew was probably saying yesterday was if everything was equal, I think he meant the players weren't injured. The weather was 12 degrees. The fans were in the stadium. But the one thing that was evident yesterday, which backs up and says, which kind of goes back to what I was saying about the way the club is. Twice, there was two times I heard. First of all, the Kulusevski song. It started, then it stopped. And then Levy Out chanted started, And I think it started from Phil P, if I'm honest, because I could hear him because he was
Phil
above
P.
me. But then it stopped again. Look, I just think we're such a mess with everything that I don't know how we fix this. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how we get anywhere. I don't know
Nick,
whether
most clubs, when they're in a mess, they do like they do sack their manager. Listen, I know this manager seems to be getting a free pass by loads of people, and what I've seen is the narrative has shifted massively. I love football fans purely because we're all delusional, right? It's shifted. The very same fans that were in my chat in the summer going, you watch, we're going to finish second or third. You watch, why can't we challenge? You watch this player, you watch that. Are the very same fans now going, oh, you guys won't be happy with any manager. If you sack him, we'll be back here in 18 months. Well, if we're back here in 18 months, we're back here in 18 months. That all of these excuses, Barrett, I never know where to say Nick or Barrett. I'm going to call you Nick. All these excuses, Nick, right, are side issues to how bad he's doing. Do you know what I mean? We can turn around and go, oh, but I bet we're here in 2 years. Okay, but that doesn't excuse the bad job he's doing. Just because we've done this before or just because we might do it again doesn't mean that he's good. I'll give you an example. If I worked in, let's say I'm a car salesman, right? And 2 years ago, they sacked the person before me because they only sold one car a month and their target was 5. If I'm now selling one car a month, are they going to go, we can't sack this person who's underperforming because we sacked Joe Bloggs before him?
Yeah.
No, they're going to go, no, we sacked Joe Bloggs because it wasn't working. It's not working with this guy. It's worse with this guy than it was. Sacked. But we've got this army of people that just want to defend him. And what I think's happened is Levy is so disliked. The way that Daniel Levy runs the club is so disliked, Nick, that is now becoming the biggest weapon in Ange-Postecoglou's defense. So what it's doing is we're taking away from how bad he's doing, and it's all going on Levy. Now, Nick, we don't like Levy, right? But I can acknowledge that I didn't like Levy when Pochettino was the manager. Look what Pochettino did. I didn't like Levy when Harry Redknapp was manager. Look how good Harry Redknapp was, right? Managers can come in and do well under Levy. Can they come in and go, there's a title, there's a Champions League? No. But many clubs across the country aren't going to win the league, right? So I'm just getting a little bit fed up with the excuses being made for this guy. And why is this guy the one getting the backing? I almost understood it with Conte. I didn't like Conte. I know Neil said I did. I didn't like Conte, but I understood when people were fighting for him because it's Conte for what he's done, what he can do. With this manager, I don't understand it, Nick. I really don't understand it.
Yeah, look, I think, with everything, how long have we said? I mean, this is another, and it's not a, it's not a excuse or whatever. But how many times we said, oh, we need to stick with the manager? The other thing is, oh, look what happened with Arsenal. Look what happened with Arteta and everything else. We're a million miles away from that. I don't know whether Daniel Levy's sitting there going, well, you want me to sack managers? You don't want me to sack managers? I don't know what. Do you know what I mean? I mean, yesterday was the first time when Bergvall was taken off. That was a Lucas Moura moment when he got taken off against Man United, right? And then Nuno got sacked. The crowd were booing when Ange made that decision. Because for me, Bergvall was probably our best player yesterday, arguably. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think looking at the fixtures that are coming, I don't think Liverpool even need to go full strength. I think they'll rotate 100%. There'll be a Conor Bradley for a Trent. There'll be a Nunes and a Jota for Salah. There'll be a. I mean,
just named some good players there.
I know, There'll be a Kelleher for Alisson. They won't need to play these players. And then let's just say that hell freezes over and Tottenham go into the second leg with a 1-0 lead, let's just say, right? But then they're going to bring all those players back for the second leg so they can win the game. And we've won, 4 games out of in 100 years or something stupid at Anfield. So,
yeah,
look, I think it'll be I think what it'll be is oh, look, we drew 1-1 with Liverpool. It's a bit like when we beat City in the Carabao Cup, right? Okay, it was City and they chose to put those players out, but it wasn't the City that we beat 4-0 and it wasn't the City that we beat in previous seasons, right? So,
yeah. Look, I think with the let me just get a couple of quick super chats. By the way, we are hearing. I sound like Jeff Stelling. I want to be Jeff Stelling. So I'm just going to my reporters. Yes, I'm hearing that the Man United Liverpool game, or Liverpool Man United, I should say, is going ahead. They are clearing the ice and snow off the pitch right now. I'm going to be live on bigup.com for that one. So join me on Big Up for I like those games because there's no pressure, there's no Spurs, there's no Ange chat. You can just be football fans. And has anyone noticed, anyone that comes over and joins me on Big Up, we always have a laugh because we're not talking about Tottenham. We're literally talking about Liverpool and Man U and Newcastle. We're having a laugh. So join me. I believe I'm live at, oh God, I should know that, shouldn't I? I believe I'm live at, 4:15 for Liverpool versus Man United, fully expecting a Liverpool win, but football does some strange things. A couple of quick super chats. Big up Nigel Jones. He said, Ange made the mistake of going for the Spurs job and Spurs made the mistake of signing him. Look, Nigel, here's where I'll hold up my hands. When Ange first signed, I said, oh, I like this. This is a breath of fresh air. Let's see what this guy's got, right? Looks like he plays some good football at Celtic. Cool. I'm behind it. Problem is, and I know we're not allowed to do this in life, Nick, but as the evidence has piled up over time, I've gone, no, I got that wrong. No, don't. This guy's not for me. But yes, listen, I think Ange, for me, should go to I don't know where he goes after this, because I think if he takes over a team who are fighting relegation in the Premier League, these tactics will have them relegated within months. The same way Russell Martin's tactics have got Southampton basically relegated, right? So I don't think a top club takes him because they're going to look and go, all the injuries that he's caused, the results are awful. For me, I think he needs to go to another league, if I'm brutally honest. But big up to you, Nigel. Big up to SJG. Said, can't make tomorrow's stream. Would love the opportunity for a few minutes about Ange out. Mate, listen, with all due respect, listen, I had Eddie on yesterday for about 3 hours, and look, today I just kind of want to keep it to people I know it just for today. Yeah. I'm more than happy on other days. Listen, I'm always letting people come on my show, just not today. Please, you don't need to put more money in to ask me to come on. You can just ask in the chat. It's absolutely fine. Your boy, or my boy, as it says, you will make your YouTube debut. Don't you worry about that. And look, you didn't have to put in another super stick. It's okay. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you, though. And you will come on at some stage. And big up Blaine Dev, who said, Savva, I'm confused why Levy hasn't sacked Ange. Others were shunted for far less. I agree. Do you believe it's symptomatic, a good word, symptomatic of Levy not having a plan B, or any decent manager can't come seeing our mess? Barry, let's talk about this. A big up Blaine there, first of all. Thank you very much. This is a great question. So Blaine is completely right. Any other manager we've had in the past, Nick, doesn't survive this. They haven't survived anywhere near this bad a form. So he's right on that front. The second 2 points, is it because Levy doesn't have a plan B, or is it because decent managers won't come? Now, I think that the Levy not having a plan B sounds very Daniel Levy-like, but saying decent managers won't come, I hear this every time Man U sack a manager. What manager's going to go Man U? I hear this every time we sack a manager. What managers will go because we will pay. Quite simply, if we went, for example, if we went to, I'm just an example, Nick. If we went to Brentford, let's say we went to Thomas Frank's agent, first of all, because that's how it works. We wouldn't go to Brentford. We'd go to Thomas Frank's agent and say, we want Thomas at the club. Thomas Frank's agent's going to say to Thomas Frank, listen, Spurs want you. Are you interested before we take this to Brentford? Now, for me, I think a Thomas Frank who's been at Brentford, and we know the size of Brentford, they do a bloody good job every year with their resources. He's done a really good job there consolidating them as a Premier League club. Right? I think he turns around at this stage and goes, you know what? Yeah, I've done my dues. I've worked my way up. And you know what? I'm guessing here, Nick. I guess he's probably on about 2 million a year, 2.5 million a year. I think Tottenham at minimum double that to 5 million or maybe even to 10. So for me, I think that top managers, I think that good managers will come to Spurs. What do you make of all this?
Yeah, look, I think if you look at the table and if you look at the teams above us, that you can argue, or we've had that discussion that, you know, they don't have better squads than us, or they don't have whatever you want to argue. I think Iraola, Silva, Frank, if you go and speak to three of them, one of them or all three of them are saying yes before they then go and approach the clubs, right? Why would they leave? Why would they leave their clubs at the moment? I mean, look, with all due respect to those clubs, they don't, you know, if we're talking about facilities, we're talking about, you know, what we can offer, then we all know that we've, you know, then we all know what we've got, right? So I don't see why they, I mean, who are we hanging on for? I mean, realistically at the moment, you know, we all laugh at Man United, we all laugh at Eric Ten Hag, but Ten Hag could probably get a tune out of these players better than what Ange is at the moment. And he won 3 trophies and still got sacked. And we've seen the drop off from United since Amorim's come in. And yeah, I think he'll get it right. But you know, there are 3 worse teams in the league, thankfully, than both us and Manchester United, or actually, but both us and Manchester United will find ourselves in a relegation battle. So I don't understand. Yeah, there is. I don't think there's a plan B. I think this is the problem. I think there is no plan. So we keep with the division. We keep with the let's just wait and see. Let's see if we get to a cup final, which we're not. Because either way, even if we scrape the first leg or draw the first leg, even if they play their kids in the second leg or rotate, they've still got a far better team than us. And I don't want to hear this, oh, but for the second leg, our players are going to be back. Vicario, Romero, Van der Ven, the doggy are not going to be back for that at the beginning of February. 1,000,000%. I'll be surprised if we see them until March, because if they come back, they're coming back too early, like we saw against Chelsea. And isn't it funny? We say that lightning never strikes twice, but look what happened against Chelsea both times. It's derailed everything both times. And that has to be, you can't blame Daniel Levy for that. You have to blame the manager for that, because he risked, he was on a hide into nothing. If you don't risk Van der Ven and Romero and get pumped 8-0, he's probably getting sacked. If you do risk them, they get injured. We score a couple of goals, then we get absolutely destroyed by Cole Palmer. But that's on him. He chose to do it, and he's making bad decision after bad decision at the moment. Can
I just say the funny thing about the Chelsea point? I agree with. I completely agree with you. Right? If we look at this, right, Chelsea are a good team, but this is also a Chelsea that haven't won in 4 Premier League games now. So clubs like, no offense, Chloe, if you're in the chat, Chloe's a friend of mine and she supports Palace. Chloe, if you're in the chat, I'm so sorry. But Palace kept Chelsea to a 1-1 draw. Ipswich beat Chelsea 2-0. Fulham went to Chelsea and won 2-1. Everton drew with Chelsea 0-0. That's their last 4 games, Nick, in the Premier League. Spurs, come on, just come and play through us. This is what I mean. A coach will make it hard to beat teams like Chelsea. I'm not saying every week. I'm saying, on another day, Chelsea might batter Everton. But why has Dyche, Silva, McKenna, and Glasner all managed to take, between them, they've taken 8 points from Chelsea out of 12.
Yeah.
And they come to White Hart Lane, stick 4 goals past us. Now, if we're going to turn around and truly say that Ipswich, whatever 11 Ipswich had out was better than whatever 11 we had out on the pitch. Really? Do you know what I mean? Even with injuries, really? Right? No offense. Ipswich and Everton are both bottom 5 teams. Right? Hang on. Let me just double check I've got that right. No, that's definitely not the league table. Ipswich and Everton are in the bottom 5. One's 16, one's 18. Right?
Yeah.
Between them, they've managed to get 4 points out of 6 from Chelsea. Right? They come to Spurs, and it's like, nope, we're not going to change the way we play. And that, for me, is why I don't like it. I'm not saying we have to bend over, hypothetically, for every single big team we play. But you know what Chelsea are good at. You know the threats they have. You know Cole Palmer's going to pull strings because he's brilliant. You know that Neto's going to run at us with pace. You know that Sancho's going to be a winger that wants the ball out wide and running at people. So why have we got a manager that doesn't try to counter that? He didn't try and counter it yesterday against Anthony Gordon. He didn't do it against Semenyo when playing for Bournemouth. It just feels to me, Nick, that there are things that can be done. There are things that can be done, injuries or no injuries, right? And I want to show you something in a second. Before I do, Reezy, I want to say, still yet to see injuries to first-team players' stats and how that's affected Ange versus previous managers. Now, first and foremost, this would take somebody forever to compile. Second of all, right, are we saying that no other Spurs manager in 30 years has had injuries or injury spells, right? Pochettino got to a Champions League final without Harry Kane, the world's best striker at the time, right? There are things you do. There are things that you have to try and do. At that time, if I remember, we had Ali, Kane, one of the 2 centre-backs and the fullback was... I remember it was a period at the end of that season where it was like, God, we've got a lot of players out. That's just in recent history. But Reezy, what you've got to say as well is, when you look at some of the squads these other managers had, even if they didn't add injuries, Jose Mourinho was playing with Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, Ryan Sessegnon, Matt Doherty, Winks, Sissoko,
Serge Aurier.
So even if we didn't have loads of injuries, which I'm sure we probably did, look at the caliber of the players. But what Jose did was make us difficult to beat because he realized, hang on, teams are going to run through us. This is what Ange can't do. Ange can't turn around and go, right, I've got some injuries. Let me mix it up to make us difficult to beat. So this whole notion of let's compare injuries versus others, I'm sorry, you've got to do different things. And Video Complete, Sofiane, thank you very much for your message, for the super chat. I said, Ange must be the most stubborn person in the world. How comes he doesn't understand his tactics are not working? Nick, I'll let you answer that. True? Not true?
Yeah, he is. He doesn't change. He doesn't understand it. Like we've all said it. We've all made suggestions. It's probably set up for 3-5-2 or... I just don't understand what I think he's got so far past the point where he cannot go back on what he said that he just keep riding with it, right? And I'm looking at you're talking about those teams below us, Man United, if they had someone that could score, would have beaten us. We lost to Palace. All right. We beat Everton, but that was like the first or second game and they were a shambles. Wolves beat us, Ipswich beat us, draw to Leicester, and we pummeled Southampton, which look at Brentford. Brentford haven't won an away game all year, and they go and win 5-0 yesterday. So all the teams below us are getting results. The teams above us are getting results.
Yeah.
I look at the fixtures. The only fixture that I'm comfortable until the end of February is Manchester City at home. The rest of them...
not Tamworth away.
No. because that is just set up for an FA Cup giant killing.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at it, you think Leicester at home. I don't know. Are we going to see? You know, you probably think Leicester at home, but the rest of them, Ipswich away, United at home, Liverpool. Obviously, the 2 Liverpool games, the Europa League. We'll probably find a way. We'll probably find a way to cock that up and be in a playoff. You know, so I just look at it. Man City at home, 25th of Feb, 7:45. That's the next 3 points we're getting, and that's 6 weeks away or something stupid. You know, 7 weeks away.
It's really bad. And by the way, this is a good point. Listen, I mean, by the way, I use Frank as an example. I think people go over. For me, I'd take Iriola, Silva, Frank. I like Glasner. I think Glasner does a very good job with what he's got. I think Glasner as well would come in, and I guarantee, Nick, we'd go straight to wing-backs. You'd have Porro and Udogie as wing-backs straight away. When we're at the stage where I'm looking at managers below us in the table and going, yeah, I'd take him, that's how I know we're in a tiny bit of a mess. Mark, big up to you, Mark. I said, Iriola is on 1 million a year. He definitely jumped ship for 5 million. And I tell you what a fantastic job Iriola has done since he took over at Bournemouth, right? What a fantastic job. I agree with that, Mark. I mean, by the way, I also agree with a person who said, you know, there's 658 people in the chat, only 208 likes, which is absolutely disgusting. Thank you for everybody. In the last day, we have had 100 subscribers, so we are up to 15.3K. There are 660 of you, so please smash the like button. Please subscribe. The pinned message is the link to Big Up, but that's not till 4:15. So if you want to save that somewhere, it's a good platform. There's a little tactics board. The scoreboard's built in. We have a laugh. And what's the good thing about that you don't have on YouTube is there's GIFs. Everyone loves GIFs. So yeah, the owners of Big Up want people to actively continue to use the GIFs. They like that as a function, and there's lots of cool functions coming. Dave O'Hanlon, hello. It says, Savva, which 3 managers do you think would make the most for our current squad and help us push to where we need to be? And it depends. Listen, for me, I think the next manager we need to stop worrying about, is it going to be a Jose Conte level manager? I think it just needs to be a good coach. First and foremost, I think we need to do you remember when Newcastle took Howe, Nick? And I remember loads of people were going, oh, but this guy got relegated with Bournemouth. This guy's rubbish. Eddie Howe's a coach. And I think Newcastle fans, I've not seen any Newcastle fan that, you know, I'm sure they've had their moments with him, but in general, he's made Newcastle a very good team. And for me, I think we need our Eddie Howe the same way when Poch came in. And for me, Iriola is another one where I look at, and I don't know about you, I get Poch vibes from Iriola.
Yeah, I don't think we don't need someone that can, you know, we don't need the best players. We don't need to go and, I mean, we won't go and do it. But if we go, we're not going to go out and spend £1 billion and spend 100 million on players in every position, right? You don't, if you look at where the league is and you look at what managers are at their clubs, you don't need the best 11 players. You need them to be coached well, and you need them to play as a team. And at the moment, Tottenham, they're not coached well and they're not playing as a team. And that's the issue. How many times do you see it when, you know, Savva, you've played sport and you go up against a team and you think, oh, we're going to batter them, and then you're like, how did we lose? You know, because they play, you know, over 90 minutes, they played together as a unit, they stuck to their job and they stuck to the plan. I don't know what the plan is with this team. I don't know what anything we're trying to do. That second half yesterday, I was sat there and I kind of like, well, 20 minutes have gone. Nothing's really happened. Newcastle, you know, and the same thing happens when a team starts getting a little bit pushy, a little bit niggly against us. We don't know what to do. We don't start, you know, Byrne was on a yellow card from what, the 30th minute, 40th minute. Go and get him sent off. Go and do what he did. He got away with it. He should have been sent off, but he got away with it. Joe Linton, he got away with it. It goes back to what Jose said about being clever. We know the next word, but do you know what I mean? And We don't have a plan. We don't sit there when, look, when was it when we were playing at Newcastle when we lost 2-1 and their whole midfield was on yellow cards? What are we doing to think about, if we get one or maybe two of them sent off, that opens the game up.
Yeah.
We don't have a plan. We don't have an identity. I don't know. Under Poch, you know what you were getting. Under Mourinho, under Savva's favourite manager, Conte, you knew what you were getting in terms of the style of play. Mourinho, we'd go 1-0 up, we'd try and sit back and defend, right? And this manager, we know what he's going to do. We're just going to keep attacking. 3-0 up, 2-0 up, 4-0 up. That's all we know. We're going to keep attacking. We're not going to sit back. We're not going to read the game situation. We're not going to, change halfway through a game. That's the biggest thing that we don't do. We don't read the game situation. And that's where this manager is not good enough, because he doesn't know how to adapt, how to change. He only knows one way because look, with all due respect, in Scotland you can get away with it because, in all due respect, apart from 2 other teams, the rest are shocking.
The thing is, Nick, to back on from what you said there, I see a lot of there's people in the chat. Like when I read it, you know me, I'm a reader of the chat. People say don't read it. I will always read my chat because I think that people have taken the time to come and watch. Without viewers, the YouTube channel doesn't exist. So for me, I'm a big fan of reading the chat. And what I'm seeing back and forwards is people having a row about who would be good and injuries. And what I don't get is it's the aimless throwaway comments I don't get. Right? But we're in the middle of a project. No one can tell you what the project is. But yeah, we can see the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture that means that we have to go backwards for 15 months first? And how long does that last? But it's a rebuild. Like we've seen that. I brought up a comment earlier. Rebuild.
Yeah.
So what? Sorry, no offense. Is buying Gray, Bergvall, Odegaard, Yang, Kinski, is that a rebuild or are we just buying young players? A rebuild is you watch when Man City go out and start buying players to get them back to winning titles, right? That will be a rebuild, Nick. They're not going to get rid of Kevin De Bruyne and replace him with a kid that they're going to buy for midfield but play him in at centre back, right? So I just think the look, the issue is, look, don't get me wrong. I think a Bergvall and an Archie Gray. I'm not like Lubo who will think he's better than Messi or something like that. Or I think he said it as a joke. But I think Gray and Bergvall can be very good players. But look, what are we going to have to put up with this for another 2 or 3 years? It's madness. Another 2 or 3 years of this, just until it might happen. Arsenal, no one likes to hear it. They were sat there with a Aubameyang. They went and got rid of a Aubameyang. They didn't just go and sign any. Do you know what I mean? Just go and sign anyone. When Haaland goes, they're not going to just sign. We signed at the time. We lost at the time probably the world's best striker, and we replaced him with who? Richarlison. I mean, and the worst thing, Nick, is that we didn't have a succession plan. The worst thing is this, and again, I know. Look, as fans, we look at things very simplistically, but let's be brutally honest. The club would have known for a long time that Harry Kane wanted to leave. This wouldn't have come as a shock. They would have been talking to his agent, to his team for years, right? The warning sign was there with the whole not going to Man City thing. The warning signs were there that the man wanted to leave, and then through his strop, fair play, whatever, blah, blah, blah. From there, you're thinking to yourself, right, we know Harry Kane's not going to be here forever. What are we doing about this? The season before Harry Kane leaves, we sign Richarlison, right? When Harry Kane leaves, we don't even bring in a striker. The only striker we brought in was Valise, right? So we put Richarlison through the middle, realised that didn't work very quickly, so they then put Son through the middle. And then we replace him with Solanke. And I'm not going to get into a debate about Solanke. Solanke's okay, blah, 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 blah. But you're right. There's a huge difference. And I want to go back to my original point about the word rebuild. I feel like it's being used wrong, right? A rebuild, by its definition, is something was built, right? It was knocked down and rebuilt. Tottenham aren't rebuilding from anything. Like, I always ask this question. I can never seem to get an answer from anyone, Nick. What are Spurs rebuilding from and to? Because if a rebuild, again, I'm not saying these players can't be great, Nick, in a few years' time. I'm not. Some of them will, some of them won't, right?
Yeah.
If a rebuild is Yang, Odeberg, Gray, Bergvall, Kinski, if these players are a rebuild, then it's not much of a rebuild. What you've got there is a youth project that may or may not work in 5 years' time, right? And Nick, you're old like me. I'm putting us together, right? We've seen this before. Lots of Spurs fans are acting like this is new. We've seen Spurs do this before with Aaron Lennon's, Carl Walker's, Carl Norton's, Jermaine Defoe's, Tommy Huddleston's. This isn't new. This isn't. We've always done this. We've always gone and bought younger players. But because it's Ange, we're packaging it as rebuild youth project. First and foremost, which bloody one is it? Second of all, what do either of them mean? Sorry for the difficult question, Nick.
Well, rebuild. The only thing that's been rebuilt at Tottenham is the freaking stadium. That's a rebuild. If you want to talk about a rebuild, because we had something, we knocked it down, we changed it. If that's anything to go by, that's how we should look at what the team should be done, right? We the game changing stadium. Yeah, it's game changing, but just not for the football pitch. But for me, the policy is on youth. So that's the policy. That's not a rebuild. And we've never seen anyone, when we've sold players, we've always gone down this he's one for the future. One for the future. Half this freaking squad is one for the future. And like you said, half of them may come good, half of them may not. But you know what will happen? Luka Modric, Michael Carrick, Kyle Walker, Gareth Bale, Dirk Berbatov. They won't stick around because they want to win things. And look at who we replaced Gareth Bale with. Gareth Bale. We still haven't replaced Kyle Walker. And when did Kyle Walker leave?
Yeah, we've tried. We've tried about 5 times.
I mean, as close as much as I love Emerson Royale. I mean, Emerson Royale was not even close, right? And he's probably been the best of the bad bunch. And that's clutching. That's really clutching, right? And Valise wants to be sent back from his loan spell. So they want to send him back. So,
and I'll tell you what, Barry, this is a great point, right? Like, Ange is the one who said there's 2 ways of going about having experience in your squad. One is to acquire it, i.e. sign it. The other one is to develop it. He prefers to develop it. So when we're talking about a rebuild, there's no rebuild. He's telling us, I don't want to do that. And by the way, I had to bring up this comment because for me, Console Fitbits, big up to you. I said, blame me, Nick, not the manager. The manager's trying with his hands tied behind his back. First and foremost, Console, I think the problem is the manager isn't trying. Nick, that's the problem for me, is that the manager isn't trying anything. If Ange Postecoglou said, do you know what? For the next 3 or 4 games, we're going to go to wing backs. For the next 3 or 4 games, we're going to go to 4-4-2. I don't know. I'm just spitballing, right? The next 4 games, we're going to be more defensive and just sit in and not get battered, right? If he did things like that, I'd turn around and go, yeah, he's trying. The manager's doing all he can to tell me that he wants to change. The problem is, Contour, he's not. He's not trying. He's doing the same thing. And what I don't understand about fans that say this, that's not my opinion, Nick. He's telling us. He's coming out in press conferences and after games and going, why would we change, mate? I'm not changing, mate. he's telling us, but then fans are going, oh, but he's trying. He's not. He's telling you he's not trying anything.
Yeah, and just look, I need to go because I've got to take my daughter to work. But I'll leave you with this thought. Tomorrow at 7:00, Emerson Royale could win a cup.
Yeah.
And if that happens, trust me, you all better turn your phones off.
Oh gosh. Again, he's another one in a long list of leave Tottenham, have success. Nick, thoroughly loved it. Thanks for coming on.
Big up, man.
Really, really appreciate it, mate. Listen, enjoy whatever you do today, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon, mate. Big up,
Much
everyone.
love, buddy.
Smash that like button, you frauds. Pay your rent.
Yeah, pay your rent. Smash the like button. Only 257 likes, 600 of you in here. Let me get back to some comments, shall we? Guy, again, I keep seeing people saying things like, you know, we can see in the future that we're better than, you know, we can see what Ange is doing and building. I'd love for someone to explain to the rest of us what that is. No one can explain it. This guy is the biggest one in the chat that constantly says, look, we need to build and see a project. I bet he can't tell you what the project is. It's just all buzzwords. All the Ange defenders are buzzword central. It's literally like they've got Post-it notes all around their laptop and going, well, in this comment, I'm going to use rebuild. In this comment, I'm going to use process. It's absolutely mad. Mex Ryder has said, Ange isn't going to change anything. He is nearly 60. He didn't manage a top league because he is delusional and has crap tactics. That's the only reason. I'm finding it really hard to disagree with that. I really do. LFC Cop-Hype, big up to you. I said rebuild is an excuse word for failure. If you have to rebuild your house, it means the damn thing was terribly built initially. Yeah, look, and we've tried to build a house about 500 times under Daniel Levy. We got close a few times, but hey, it is what it is. Emerson Royale. Oh, Emerson Royale. Yeah, Trippier replaced Walker, but again, even he moved on. Absolutely. It's just madness. Mark has said, I'll put together the average age of the teams for the last few managers. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got Ange telling people that he doesn't want experience. And then fans going, oh, but he hasn't got anything to work with. He's telling us, I don't want experience. I just don't know. I don't know how many more things, right? I don't know how many more things Ange can say. And then fans will go, oh, no, but he means this. Well, say this then. Say that. Guys and girls, I had to show you this. Yeah, quit flip-flopping on Conte. Yeah. Paul Trower said, trying what exactly? To hang him again, no one can answer me. Trying what? What is he trying? He goes, go on, same thing every game. Go on. He tries nothing. Joe Buck said, Savva, I'd have a holiday from this pile of poo if I was you. It won't get any better. Joe, I've just had a holiday. And when actually, it's my fault. When I was away, we drew with Rangers, beat Southampton and beat Man United in the cup. So we didn't lose while I was away. As soon as I've come back, we've not won a bloody game. My fault. Here's a buzzword. Ange is a fraud. Big up, Ricardo. Ricardo, did you email me last night? Is it you that emailed me last night? Let me know. Yes, my man. Yes. I love this. He's building this is another buzzword, the culture. He's building a culture of technical attacking football with the youth and a mix of experience. What does this mean? Like, really, Contour Fitbits, what does this actually mean? How can you build a culture of technical attacking football when you're losing nearly every week? We finish this now. I said, would you rather get in a manager? Sorry, who would you rather get in as manager, and why do you believe they would succeed where Poch, Mourinho stands? Again, we finish this now. People like you are conflating two subjects. You are putting two subjects together and trying to make me say it as one. I can't explain this anymore. Managers like Poch, right, did well. Did he get over the line? No. Did he get over the line? No. I'm not saying a new manager comes in and wins titles. I'm not saying that. But we shouldn't be bottom half with these 15 months. So a new manager can come in for me and coach the team better and actually make us look like a solid unit, right? So when we're saying Mourinho, did you see the teams Mourinho and Conte had for a start, right? So this whole thing is really silly. Pochettino, for me, should have got over the line in something. He should have. But look at those years under Poch compared to what we've got now. Look at those years under Poch to the mess we've got now under this manager. So please, you're conflating two different arguments here, and I don't like that. I don't think he was a shit side. I think he was okay. I think he's okay for me. I've never changed my opinion on Solanke. I think he's a decent striker. I think he has some good games. I think he works bloody hard. For me, technically not good enough and not the level you need if you want to be better. But that's where Spurs put £65 million of their money. And all the reports are suggesting that Ange really, really wanted him as his first choice striker. Listen, big up to Queen Ellie. Queen, I love Ellie. I really do love my Ellie. It's not a rebuild. It's a nothing. It's let's see who we can get in the cheap and pay them cheap as chips, wages, and let's get out the big earners. No, look, it's not. There's no rebuild. As I said, I've asked a million times to people, Ellie, what we're rebuilding from. No one can answer. I asked what we're rebuilding to. No one can answer. I asked what the plan is, the project, the process, the timelines. No one can answer. They're lovely, lovely words to mask how badly we're doing. Morton Barley, Gary is sadly going 101 games without a 0-0 draw. Says more about our defence than our attack. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, laugh out loud. Just buzzwords. Absolutely, John. The attack in football is non-existent. Watch us attack yesterday. I thought we looked really poor attacking. I think in many games we look really poor attacking, but people keep thinking it's good. I don't know anything about this keeper. I know that he's a young kid that's highly rated. Many young kids are highly rated. Really, look, welcome to Spurs is all I can say, Money Mace. Welcome to Tottenham Hotspur. I will say to him, I hope he does well. I hope he turns out to be a brilliant signing. But at the end of the day, will he be number one? Is he going to sit on the bench? We're going to see, aren't we? We'll see over the next 6 months or so, as with anything. Big up Mark Taylor. How you doing? I said the words he is using are business words, not football words. Absolutely, completely agree with you. Again, this is not true. This is fundamentally not true. Again, you're conflating two arguments, right? Again, does it matter who's in charge if you want to win a league title? No. But does it matter who's in charge if you want to be better than we are? Then absolutely it does. People have got to stop confusing the two arguments. It doesn't make sense. LFC Copper, I said, big up Savva. The only coach you need at a football club is a winning one. Apparently not. Apparently it's losing week in, week out and sticking with that process. Look at the mess we was in before Ange. It wasn't this bad. What do you mean? He's taken us backwards, Danny. When you say look at the mess, what we mean is when Conte left, we were fourth. What we mean is look at the last couple of months that was a mess under Stellini and Mason. This manager has taken us backwards. I really don't understand this at all. I know Andrew's bringing a winning mentality. They keep saying this is all part of the bigger picture. He's winning. I don't get it. I just don't get it. We nearly sacked Poch 1 year in. Yeah, but we're not 1 year in. We're 18 months in, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Poch, after year one, started doing that. Again, there's no comparison between Poch and this guy. Chris has said, why is another keeper our first signing this window? By the way, I'll try to get to as many comments as I can. I really will for the next 15 minutes before we end. How can I not know about the keeper? Everyone on Twitter is an expert. This is what I mean. We did this with Gray. We did this with Bergvall. Everyone's an expert on people they've not really seen play. Lots of talk that he's the best goalkeeping talent that's come out of Czech Republic since Peter Cech. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to see, right? Let's see. Carlos has said, if it's a rebuild, wouldn't he have signed a contract extension by now? He's got 17 months left. Who, Ange? if Ange's got 17 months left, get rid of him. I've got no time for him. Kinski has been the main for Slavia during the last months, and he did well against Frankfurt and Fenerbahce and Ajax. He's good with both feet. Look, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm not knocking him. I don't know him. I haven't seen him. So, as I said, I hope he comes in. I hope he does well. I hope he's a brilliant keeper. I'll be interested to see what we do moving forward. Sue said that Carrick didn't even want to be here. And as you say, he was only here 5 minutes. God, what a footballer Michael Carrick was. Levy will only pay pocket money to kids. That's the problem. Yeah, but then we go and buy Dominic Solanke for 65 million, Charlison for 60 million, and so that's not strictly true, is it? I mean, again, I feel like we're taking little things and making it absolutes, and I don't think that's quite true. Didn't people see the press conference yesterday? A desperate man knows he is a desperate man under pressure, and people are sitting there defending. I agree. Listen, what I don't mind is I think when people defend someone, great. But then when the new evidence suggests, yeah, this ain't working, none of those people are pivoted. Well, a few have actually pivoted, if we're going to be honest. All day long. Listen, loved it. Like all these people going, it doesn't matter who's in charge when Levy's here. I loved Spurs under Redknapp. I looked forward to every single game. I loved watching Spurs under Redknapp. He did really well. Got us far in cup competitions. We were very good in the league. We attacked teams whilst being good at the back. Proper manager. Matt, absolutely spot on with that. Proper manager. Would you agree this squad with the right manager can win the Europa League? Yes. Yes. With the right manager, yes. But listen, there are some decent teams in the Europa League. The test for me is going to be when you have to play teams over 2 legs, right? When you have to play Athletic Bilbao or Lazio or Galatasaray over 2 legs, that will be the test for me because those managers for me will work out Ange's tactics after leg 1, no matter what the score is. So for me, over 2 legs will be interesting. But yes, he should have said no then, shouldn't he? Should have said no to people like Timo Werner. By the way, Timo Werner doesn't even start the games. So no, sorry. No, not having that. Good morning to you. Bro, I'll message you later. We'll get something sorted. Big up to you. I don't know how many times I have to answer this. When people say I have not answered who I want as manager, how many times do I have to rattle off a list of names before people will go, oh, you can't name anyone? I take loads of people, right? If we're going to look in the Premier League, I would look at Glasner, Iriola, Silva, Frank. If we're going to look outside the Premier League, I would look at people like Holness of Stuttgart. I'd look at Palladino of Fiorentina. I'd look at Mikel of Girona. I'd look at many people. I'd look at Terzic. There are lots of people that I would look at. So when people say you have an answer, I constantly answer every day. There are many managers. I think this is the worst manager I've seen at Spurs. So I'm literally at the stage now where I'd go, God, give it to Ryan Mason. I cannot stand this manager as a manager, not as a person, as a manager. Karate, big up to you, bro, has said shopping at Lidl again. I mean, I genuinely don't know. He could be brilliant. Who knows? Let's hope the scouts have got this one right. Yeah, but the football in general was so defensive. I see the improvement from then to now. How can you see the improvement from then to now? We're worse. We're losing more games, conceding more goals, and lower down the table. So, Danny, again, that's not true. Just saying you can see it, evidentially, it's not true. Again, guys, no offense, Danny, you're probably a lovely guy, but this is what we do. People say, but the football was so defensive. Now we don't have a defense. Now we're so kamikaze. I don't get this as a fan. I don't get this. I see the improvements. How? With the results and everything. Right, I'll tell you what, this is a perfect time for me to bring up. So Danny sees the improvements. Right, here we go. Danny sees the improvements. Ready? Look at this. Danny sees the improvements, but look at this. Guys, this was put together, but it wasn't by me. This was put together by someone yesterday. Just have a look at the state of what we're doing under this manager. Have a long, hard look at that. No matter what the Ange defenders like the Reezies, no matter what the Dan G says, look at this. He can see improvements, people. Look at it. Where? We are going so far backwards. It's unreal. And again, it doesn't matter, this evidence. Do you remember people used to go, oh my God, Gross was terrible. Oh my God, Pleat. Oh my God, Ramos. Oh my God. Ange is worse this season than a lot of them. Worst managerial record in 27 seasons. But still they're out here defending him. Look at this. I'll bring that up again in a minute just so that I can continue with bringing up comments. But that's where we're at. Danny, we're not even top four, mate. Danny, we're not fifth. We're not sixth. We're 9 points off seventh, Danny. Again, no offense, but it's fans like this where I've got no sympathy or empathy for. When we are actively sitting there defending how bad we are, you kind of got what you want, haven't you? Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, Paul, it doesn't matter how many I bring in, people just keep going, oh, blah, 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 blah. I don't know who called it a Mickey Mouse Cup. I know I didn't. Dan Gay's support service, a great show as always, talking the truth from the heart. Respect you. We haven't signed a world-class player since Klinsmann. Of course. Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not even at the stage where, I'm thinking about world-class. I'm at the stage where I'm thinking about just having a manager that can blend a team together. I don't think he is I don't see what abuse he's getting. Saying he's not a good manager is not abuse, right? That's not abuse. If people are abusing him and sending him personal abuse, that's out of order. But we're football fans talking about our club saying the manager's not very good. That's not abuse. Video complete. Sofiana said, you think Mason would do a better job of the injuries we have? I think you're missing a video complete. I think the sarcasm's gone way over your head there. This injuries excuse as well. It's been like this for 15 months. We've been trending downwards. This injuries excuse is getting this manager away with everything. But again, the actual stats show that when Mason has been in charge, his win percentage is much better than that of Ange. Now, of course, it's over a smaller sample size. But why would people think we'd get relegated under Ryan Mason? Are we not watching the football? Watch the football under Ange. It's losing football. It's madness. Honestly, I've never seen our fan base has lost all self-respect. We're all self-respect. I honestly believe with a more adaptable manager, I agree. As I keep saying to everyone, yeah. As I keep saying to everyone, should we be guaranteed top four? No, I'm not saying we should. But how are Bournemouth 9 points clear of us? How are Forest that many points clear of us? It's embarrassing. I just can't. I just don't know. I agree. I know he does, John, but people don't want to see that. They just want to see that Ange is great because he attacks. It's madness. Savva, you know our man Jaup. Here's an interesting fact on stats. In the same number of games this season versus last, we've scored one more goal and conceded one more, but we're 15 points worse off. Sure. I mean, Blaine, I get it. Someone else said this to me the other day about the goals is very similar, and that's fine. But the defeats are just dreadful. I mean, how can we be 15 points down on last season? People think he's good. The Hotspur Cave has said he's our worst manager in 30 years, but you want him to stay. Yeah. Fans are what's right. Listen, I agree. This is the worst managerial performance for 27 years. And fans are going, it's a rebuild, it's a project, it's a process. It doesn't, it's mad. Not saying you, Savva. The guy's saying we're shopping in the bargain bin on FM. I always sound like, listen, look, as I said to you, with Kinski, I don't know how good Kinski is. He's a 21-year-old goalkeeper. I hope, like any kid that comes in, like Bergvall who comes in. Sorry, I just thought someone was at my door. Hang on. You can see the outside of my road for a minute there. There you go. How lucky are you lot? You can see the outside of my road. I've got far to walk to the post box, haven't I? Look, there's the post box. The difficulty is that, is he being bought for number one? Has he been bought as the number two? Is he going to play? I don't know, my friend. I don't know. I like Bergvall, like Gray, like Yang, like Oda, but I hope all these young players come in are brilliant. Realistically, they're not all going to be. Some of them will make it, some of them won't. I hope he's a great goalkeeper. I'd have no reason to want otherwise. Neil Harvey said stats don't lie. Ange does. I agree. Sure, I don't think that you're right. I don't think any trophy is Mickey Mouse. Let's be brutally honest. There are so few chances every year to win a trophy. Nothing can be considered Mickey Mouse. Nothing can be considered Mickey Mouse. I'm not talking about the pre-season trophies. By the way, don't forget there is Premier League football. There is Premier League football in a minute as well. I believe that it is. Why don't I know that? How do I not know this? That is dreadful from me. Premier League, all games. Today, Premier League. Yeah, Fulham v Ipswich. And again, if Fulham beat Ipswich, oh my gosh, this is going to be bad. If Fulham beat Ipswich, yeah, they go on to, we're 8 points behind Fulham. Listen, I'm not making this up, right? Have a look at this. If Fulham beat Ipswich, right, they'll go on to 2 points with Villa. We'll be 8 points off 9th in the table. We're going to be 8 points off 9th in the table. And if Ipswich win, they close the gap to 6 points to Spurs. God, it's a mess, isn't it? It's an absolute mess, but don't worry. Give him time, says all these people. Oh, my God. Van der Vaart was class, says Wit 5. Yeah, Van der Vaart was class. For me, the level below world class, but what a top player Rafa Van der Vaart was. Really, really liked it when he joined. WNF Goals with the super sticker. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Thank you to everyone that's liked so far. If you haven't already, we've got 307 likes. And thank you so much for all of the subscribers in the last week or so. It's gone mad. By the way, I'm just looking at Fulham versus Ipswich. Let's have a look. Oh, my God. Ipswich have 7 players out injured. I thought it was just us that had injuries. Fulham have 5. Ipswich have 7. I thought it was just us that had injuries. How are these players going to play football with injuries? Phil, here he is. I love Phil so much. Phil, I'm going to ask you, do you want to join the Spurs review tonight? Let me know if you can. If you can't, you can't. I've missed debating with you. If you'd like to join the Spurs review tonight, we're on at 7:30. So 4:15 for Big Up, which is a non-Spurs show. That's Liverpool versus Man United. Watch along on Big Up. That's the pin chat. 7:30 if you would like to join me, Phil, and everyone else. 7:30 for the Spurs review, where we've got Lubo, I've got Danny, I've got the Danalist, I've got Mr. Box Office, possibly Marlon, and maybe Phil Coys if he accepts. So we can have a debate about handballs. Big up to you, Phil Coys. Love you, dude. I think what Phil gets is when me and him have football debates, he gets that I'm passionate and in the moment. Other people just go, oh, you're so rude. And I'm just like, I'm passionate about Spurs. I always have been. AFC Matt has said, you should not be 16 points behind us. And he's not even been sacked yet. It's beyond insane. I'm loving Ange staying at Spurs, but he honestly needs to leave. this sums it all up. Arsenal fans love that we have got Ange at this football club. That sums it up. Sue has said, Mason is not a downgrade on this bluffer. Sorry about the light. I need some light in here. I'm going a bit crazy. Big up to Matt Carney. Big up to you. Has said, is there still a place in the game for cruel, harsh managers that instill in obedience and fear? Great question. Or are players now used to a somewhat softer approach? For me, Matt, I think the top managers get the blend. I think the top players with a winning mentality take it. For me, I think the prima donnas don't like it. So I'll give an example. Let's be fair. Pep Guardiola, right? We've all seen him in the documentaries. That guy's harsh. That guy is harsh. Yeah. He's on it. He's pulling you. If you're not playing well, you're not playing this week. Right? He's on it. Can you imagine Ange ever going, oh, Kulu, you didn't play well. You're not playing next week. Like it doesn't happen, does it? For me, I think Tottenham, Klopp would do it. Wenger would do it. Ancelotti would. These managers rule the roost. So I do think there is a place. That's a great question, though, Matt. I love that as a question. A lot of these prima donnas want the softer approach. They do. These players, they do. A lot of them won't run through a brick wall for a manager. But that's all down to scouting, isn't it? Signing the right type of player. So, look, it is what it is. But thank you so much, Matt. Really, really do appreciate that. Guys and girls, I think I am going to leave it there. I'm going to go and have some lunch, and then I'm going to watch Fulham versus Ipswich. Should be a good game, that, actually. Let's see what happens. As I said, this is the worrying thing. And look at Ipswich. If Ipswich win today, they go 6 points behind Tottenham. And Ipswich, by the way, have lost the same amount of games as Spurs. They got promoted last year. 18 months ago, they'd just been promoted from League One. And they're now losing as many games in the Premier League as Tottenham. It is baffling. It is baffling how people can't see how far we've gone backwards. Where are we? Listen, big up to each and every one of you. Even Neil, my man, who lied about me. Big up to him. I hope he's well. It's all football. It's all forgotten. I'm sure he'll hold a grudge. It's all forgotten my end. Guys, 4:15. I'm going to put this in again. Here it is. 4:15 on this link. I'll put it in my YouTube channel. But big up is really good. Get over there. Become if you haven't, please do become a member. A member over there doesn't cost. Memberships on YouTube does. A membership over there doesn't. It just means like subscribing. Yes, never forget. Never forget. And have you noticed since Ben told us that we've not won a game? You've got to hit the bottom of the V before you can rise. And on that note, thank you to absolutely everyone. Thoroughly enjoyed today's show. How rude of me. Let me remove that. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Big up to Nick for coming on. I got Lee Gunner messaging me. After I sent him a message. Said, look, people say I'm the Lee Gunner from Wish. Guys, girls, see you at 4:15 if you want to chilled watch along for Liverpool v Man United. And then we'll see you at 7:30 for the Spurs review. Let me just see if my man Phil did respond. Yeah, look, there you go. Yeah, I'd destroy you in a handball debate. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Mate, get my number off something. You must have one of the other numbers. Get my number off somebody. Chuck me a message. We'll do a show. Always enjoy speaking to you, even if we don't agree. Take care, everyone. And as always, Levy out and out. And come on, you Spurs.